So I wanted to speak a bit about Patanjali's Yoga Sutras over the next few weeks. So on Friday nights we've just started studying the Bhagavad Gita. So we're setting the scenes on a Friday that's just been. And so we'll be continuing on with that. And if you would like to be part of it, but you can't make it on Friday nights, then we are recording them. And so they will be put on our Facebook page. If you just want an audio file, I recorded on my phone. It's got a little bit of ruffling noises from, my book on my lap and stuff. But the file's a little big unless you've got an iPhone, because I've got an iPhone. And so you can easily get it if you've got an iPhone, but otherwise you'll have to wait until it comes out on Facebook. But Bhagavad Gita is an amazing science of self-realization. I highly recommend having listened, joining in. And if you are listening online and you do have any questions, please feel free to email us on adelaide@asmy.org.au, and we can either answer your questions in the next class, or we can type them in, or I can reply or something like that. It's such a valuable yoga text that it's important that people are able to grasp it and see how it applies in their daily life. And so it's the same like that with Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. There's 8 here, and it's called part of the mystic yoga system. So Patanjali codified these a few thousand years ago, and it's described as 8 parts. It's called Ashtanga Yoga. So sometimes you might hear of a yoga school called Ashtanga Yoga, but that's actually not what's being talked about here. So, and it's called part of the mystic yoga system. And the reason it's called mystic yoga is because it's mysterious to the common person. Right? So if if we don't know something, then whatever it is that we don't know, it's mysterious to us, right? And so that's what the system is called, out of the mystic yoga process. So we can come to know what it is. So the first one is 8. The first one is called the Yamas. And it is control of the senses, including the mind. And we may go, wait, that's what I want to control my senses. That's where I achieve my happiness. It's like, eat ice cream or pizza or whatever it might be. Music you love to listen to, or a friend of ours was telling us last night that she's got a little tot who's like 2 or so, and she got this feather, and she's just like brushing it across her face, and her daughter was just like, this feather just like lightly on her face, so it's a sense gratification, right? It's like just enjoying this sense of this soft feather on her face, and then it might be like that, you get a massage, not the dig in type, the soft shoulder type ones. So, our senses, we have 5 working senses, and so through those different senses we try to achieve happiness in life, because that's our nature, right? We want to be happy. And so, the idea of controlling them is, I don't know about this. So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, trying to enjoy the material world in the yoga text is called lust. Most people do think of lust in terms of sex, but lust means when I'm trying to enjoy something for myself. Love means when I'm more concerned about the other person, right, giving them pleasure. So, in chapter 3, Krishna says, thus a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust, which veils or covers the real knowledge of the living entity, and thus bewilders him. Therefore, O Arjuna, In the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to material senses, mind, and intelligence, one should control the lower self by the higher self, and thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So there's really a lot in there. We're not going to get through much today, so we will go through it slowly, and we will get onto this chapter when we're studying Bhagavad Gita. Right at the end here, they control the lower self by the higher self. So sometimes people think of that higher self as meaning that I am God. The lower self is considered to be the senses, and the higher self is you. So sometimes self means the soul, and sometimes it's used in connection with the body, right? So in this connection, it's like talking about control the lower self, the mind and the senses, by the higher self, the soul. And so that's what that part means, right? And that, this insatiable enemy, we don't usually see it like that, but it's like we have this constant desire to be satisfied, naturally so, but when we try to satisfy it in the material dimension by sense gratification, we never experience that fulfillment that we're seeking. And so when we learn how to curb the senses, so they make a demand, right? Mind makes a demand, the senses make a demand, and then we usually just try and follow it. And figure, the promises, the unspoken promises that I'll be happy if I follow my senses. So, you walk past a bakery and they've got all the display in the window. Well, they used to do that in the old days. They have it displayed inside now. They figure you're going to go in anyway. But they used to have it in the window, and you walk past and it's like, oh, I'd like one of those, or one of those, You weren't necessarily thinking about it before you went past the bakery, So, or you might see some, beautiful person or handsome man, and it's like, oh, I'd like to have a relationship with that person, like a, and nice goodies for the eyes, and the other senses. So we have this, desire, and it's called insatiable. It's an insatiable desire to be satisfied. And when that's placed in the material world, we never experience a satisfaction. So it's like no matter what we do, no matter where we go, no matter what we achieve, unless it's in the spiritual dimension, we still feel like something's missing. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Right? So that's an old song, and it's like so true. But we keep thinking, oh, but if I could just do this, or I could just do that. So learning how to control the senses, meaning they need to be used. It's just how we're going to use them. So Krishna teaches in the Bhagavad Gita that we're part and parcel of him. We're part and parcel, as a spirit soul, we're part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. And if we use our senses in the service of God, then the senses will actually be satisfied. We won't have that sort of inner craving and that inner emptiness anymore, because we have that satisfaction from actually existing in our true condition, existing on the platform of our true eternal nature, which is to render loving service to the Supreme Soul. And so sometimes it's described like a turtle that, they can just pull their limbs within their body, they just tuck them in, and when they want to let them out, they let them out. So a person who's trying to develop spiritually, that learn to just go, that you might be sitting there, you get up in the morning, you're going to sit and meditate, and you get yourself comfortable, and then the mind goes, oh, I wouldn't mind a cup of coffee. And it depends how strong that desire is. It's like, you may just stop your meditation and get up because the mind keeps going. It'd be quite good to have a cup of coffee right now. I think I need it. Maybe I'm going to get a bit sleepy sitting here. I have a cup of coffee, or whatever it might be. And so we have this little bit of agitation, and so it's important to learn how to regulate and just go, no, not now. And the senses go, what do you mean? It's like, no, not now. So that's the Vedic system, is that we learn how to discipline our senses, and we decide where we want them to be placed, so that they're going to be used in such a way that's beneficial for us. Right? That we're actually going to be able to use our senses so that we can become enlightened. So we all need to eat, we need to drink, we need to, wear clothing and stuff, and, like, because they'd like to wear soft clothing instead of, a coarse sack or something, we want to sleep in a soft, comfy bed, I remember, back in the 70s, and, I've been traveling to places like Afghanistan, and the mattress, it wasn't a mattress, it was rope. It was rope. That was the bed, made out of rope. It wasn't very comfortable. That certainly wasn't good for my senses. Not that you can go, oh, that feels so good, So we have the different senses, and we have the different, our different needs of the body, but it's like how we're going to take care of them. We may really desire that the mind goes, I want to enjoy sleep. It's like, no, I should get up and do some meditation. It's early in the morning, around sunrise, it's very peaceful. Actually, it's not early, sunrise is not early. But in the winter, in the summertime, just got to work according to the time. But, around sunrise or before sunrise is really conducive time for meditation. But your mind may be going, and I'm just really comfy and warm in here, I just want to stay in bed, it's like, it's all cozy, and I don't want to get up and meditate, but I know what, I'll meditate while I'm here. I'll meditate in bed. I've tried that one. You just fall back to sleep. You look at the clock and it's like, oh, I must have fallen asleep. Half an hour went by. Right? So, so we learn to regulate the senses, and it's like, no, I'm going to get up and do my meditation practice. That's it. The senses will, squawk a bit, and it's like, no, I think you work shift work, right? So sometimes you have to get up really early. and does the mind say much about that? Not anymore. It's been taught, right? It's been trained. Like, anyone here do early morning shifts sometimes? It really does take a bit of training the mind to be quiet, because you're going to have to get up anyway. But it's a little different when it's for your work, because if you don't turn up, then you're not going to get paid and things like that. But to get up for your meditation, you have more kind of choice in that sense, and so the mind can give you a harder time and encourage you not to do that. So we learn how to regulate our senses, and we learn how to regulate the tongue by engaging in chanting the names of Krishna, and by eating food that we've offered to Krishna. So you can offer vegetarian foodstuffs and dear Krishna, please accept this. My dear Lord, everything belongs to you anyway, but please, I want to re-establish my relationship with you. So you offer something to Krishna, whether it's flowers or fruit or water, and Krishna says it, even a leaf. And then we partake of that, and that has a purifying effect. So I'm regulating the senses, I eat as much as I need to try and take care of my body, so that I can then use my body, my senses, in the service of God for the welfare of others. So we learn to regulate the senses in such a way that we can use them for our spiritual development. Not that our mind and our senses pull us into the material world, into a material pool, just sucking us down. Adrian was telling me yesterday, there was a guy who was doing that, the person in the who had a bit of a wage dispute. Because this is about, because this is about senses, right? And this is how it can escalate into losing your intelligence.
You've probably all heard on the newsfeed about the girl at the at the bubble tea place.
Yes.
It's got a video of it.
Oh, okay. Snake it.
Yeah, and I believe from what the media's saying there's some sort of wage dispute, so she was trying to deal with that. And then some guy, for some reason, just just let loose. I don't know why he thought that smacking her and kicking her was going to resolve the situation. And they're probably, I don't know what they're quibbling over, it's probably $100 or something. And the result now for that guy is because he completely lost control of his senses. He just got really angry and got violent. He's going to have to go to court, and he possibly even go to jail. He might not, but he's going to have a criminal record. And if he just took a few deep breaths and thought about what he was doing, then, and I think we all need to do this sometimes, not that we're violent, but in different situations that we get in, we need to sometimes take a deep breath and think about what we're going to say or what we're going to do, and just step back a little bit, because the mind is very quick to tell you what to do, and it's not always a good idea. So, and I just thought it was amazing what that guy did. It was just crazy what he did over a dispute with a girl over money. It's like, wow, how did he get to that place?
And so the sense organs, he used them in a way that was actually really destructive for the girl and for himself. Right? So it's like lost control due to wanting something to be a certain way. And then, it's like, I've got these senses, how am I going to use them? I'm just going to completely lose my intelligence. I'm not even going to think about it. It's just like I'm overwhelmed by a desire to, punch this person out because they're wanting something from me that I don't want to give. If I have to give them a certain amount of money, then I don't have that, and then I can't use it for my own enjoyment. Right? That's actually what it boils down to. So we can see in practical daily life how important it is for us to understand the mind is the king of the senses, and we need to use our intelligence, which is superior to our mind, to direct our senses. And so, the arm's going to go that way, and you use your intelligence, and you go, no, I'll bring it back this way. I'll put my hand in my pocket so I can't do anything dangerous with it, So, do you understand that? It's like it's really, really practical how we use our body, our mind, and our senses, how we identify ourselves in our daily lives. Someone may say something, and it doesn't escalate to that, but we've all been in situations where we've said something that wasn't a great idea, or we've, felt like saying something, or done something maybe, just being really angry because somebody's doing something that somehow or other is frustrating me because it's not, not how I want things to be, So we use our senses, we use our speech, we use our body in some way to take us in a downward spiral, and we never, ever, ever feel happy from doing it. Guaranteed way to misery. It does not increase our happiness. When we learn how to control our senses and use our mind, our intelligence, to think, hang on, I'm actually an eternal spirit soul. So's that person. Okay, be nice. Use my senses to be nice. I could even use my sense of touch. Put my hands together and go, Krishna, Namaste. I feel like killing you right now. But instead, I'll put my hands together, and that might help me remember I am the spirit soul. Okay. So next week we'll talk about number 2 of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras. Thank you very much. So have a little chant and have some yummy refreshment. I'm hoping there's hot chai and iced chai, so that's what I planned. But I'm not in the kitchen, so I'm not sure what you'll get. But anyway, we've got some refreshments, and so we'll have a little chant. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare